13 out of 15 points under Carrick, and if you offered that to us before he took charge, we would have snatched your hand off. But I'm not here today to talk about how pleased I am with that point. Absolutely awful game, and especially from every single attacking player that we started in this game, absolutely woeful performances, pretty much from every single one of them. In hindsight, Sesko should have started this game. It proved that. Him and Xerxes getting those chances towards the end of the game, it proved the United should have had that box presence for a lot longer than what we actually did. Because West Ham, you knew how they were going to set up. They were going to defend deep, stop all that central play, the nice little 1-2 touch, the stuff that we obviously were reveling in the last few games. West Ham stopped all of that. Credit to them, they had a clear game plan, stuck to it. But from United's point of view, attacking quality was pretty much non-existent. The setup in attack I didn't really like. Then you add into that, then obviously we had a bit of bad luck. One cleared off the line. Casemiro with a VAR decision as well. It was so close. And then I was watching centre-back subs at the end, and it felt like I was watching a game under a certain someone.
Voldemort.
Okay.
Voldemort.
Seriously.
Voldemort.
Really shouldn't be saying that.
But it's going to be a learning curve for Carrick now, and he's going to have more games like this to come. And it was something we always knew was going to happen. It wasn't so much games up against City and Arsenal that we were really wondering what was going to happen. It was games like these ones up against Nuno's West Ham. As weird as that sounds. But I'm going to get into my 5 talking points from it, guys. Drop a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get into it. So start off, I've got to start with Sesko because that finish was absolutely wild. Don't quite actually know how he did it, but once again, he saved United's bacon. He did it up against Fulham, and he managed to salvage a point in this game. Absolute ridiculous finish, and there's no doubt in my mind that he should have started. Obviously, it's easy to say that now that the game is done. But he should have been in there for that box presence, allowing United just to be able to cross the ball in. Even with Xerxes in there then, if you started Sesko, you could have brought Xerxes on a little bit earlier in that game, and I just felt like United needed it, because West Ham were forcing United out wide, so it was really a game where you're asking United to create those wide combinations and get the ball in the box. And it wasn't really until the last sort of 10 minutes of the game that United did it. But it'd be nice to see now, especially in these sort of games where you'd expect it to come up against a team that's going to defend a little bit more. These are the games where Sesko should be starting now. And then next up, talking more about the wide areas for United, and I've highlighted Mbuemo, but obviously Ahmad in this game had an absolute stinker. Cunha was pretty much non-existent. And Mbuemo as well, just obviously provided the assist, but apart from that, didn't really do an awful lot. But the reason I've highlighted Mbuemo specifically is due to the fact that he was playing largely again on the left wing. And it wasn't until he got moved to the right-hand side where he started to look a bit more comfortable. United's squad building has been an absolute mess. United getting rid of all their left wingers, absolute crazy. So then you've got now a situation where Cunha, Carrick obviously doesn't trust him to largely play on that left-hand side. Whether it's because of the defensive stuff, I don't really know. But he's obviously gone with Mbuemo again, and similar in the Tottenham game. Again, Mbuemo scored in that game, but his overall play, I mean, from the left-hand side, didn't look good. And again, up against West Ham, he becomes pretty much non-existent when you put him out on the left. So you've got him and Ahmad fighting for that spot on the right wing, and United, their attacking options, especially on the wings, are just a little bit all over the place. When you add into that pretty much on the left-hand side, we don't really have a left winger. Cunha can play out there, but it's far from ideal. But it did feel like this was a game where you put Cunha on the left-hand side, you stick with Sesko up top. Even if it's Mbuemo up top for a bit, then you bring in Sesko on later. But playing Mbuemo on the left-hand side, I'm not feeling it at all. And then thirdly now, going from the attack to the defence, and I've highlighted Luke Shaw because the goal doesn't happen without those couple of mistakes that he made leading up to it. I thought Mbuemo didn't do anywhere near enough to stop Jared Bowen crossing that ball in either. And then obviously, whether it was Mino or Martinez didn't stop that cross getting into Souček, and he can finish that off. But largely, again, it was Luke Shaw's fault, that goal. And it did feel like United, we weren't under a lot of pressure from West Ham. Somerville had a couple of opportunities, but apart from that, it was going to take a United mistake. And it happened to be a calamity of sort of 3-4 errors from Shaw and Buemo, and I think it was Mino that led to that West Ham goal. Again, it just feels like United do need a revamp on that left-hand side. And then penultimately talking a bit more about what Nuno did in this game, because he had a clear plan, and it was a very simple one. Obviously, you're soaking up that United pressure, sitting in that low block, asking United, right, try and play through us, and United didn't have any answers for it. I said we could have done a little bit better at counteracting it. I did think that it was pretty pointless having constantly United having the sort of 2-5 setup. It seemed as if we could have easily pushed Dalot on again on that right-hand side, and it wasn't until we took, obviously, Dalot off, put in Buemo at right back, that we saw a sort of attacking play from both sides. Would have liked to have seen that a little bit earlier, as West Ham wasn't putting any pressure on that back three anyway. But West Ham then, whenever they got the ball, they knew it only took sort of 2 players up front to really make something happen. And that's what did happen in that game, with Jared Bowen getting that cross into that box, finding the running Souček. What Nuno does, I mean, I don't like it. Obviously, it's effective. We've seen that at Forest, and he's started to get it working for West Ham now. I mean, it's very poor to watch, because again, I think a lot of it makes it look like United are not really having much intensity. There's not much sort of passion and fire to their game. But a lot of it actually is the fact that Nuno and West Ham are just suffocating them, and there's not a lot you can really do about it. As I said, it was a big test for Carrick, and we didn't really pass it. And that brings me on to my last talking point then, because Carrick, we knew it was going to be a big test for him. Obviously, you're looking at it, and Sesko probably should have started this game. We should have actually made the subs a lot earlier than what we did. I do remember people saying that from Carrick's time at Middlesbrough that he was known to sort of be a little bit cautious with his subs at times. He took a little bit too long, and it did feel like that in this game. Largely United, we had 45 minutes. We went back out in the second half, playing exactly the same way. It just simply wasn't working. It was only when we got the 2 strikers on the pitch did we start to do a little bit of something. That had to happen a little bit earlier. We got Everton next up in the league. We've got to wait a couple of weeks for that game. But we got Everton next up. They're likely to play in a very similar way to what this West Ham team did. I can't see a world in where Sesko isn't starting that game and we don't see Xerxes a little bit earlier if we are chasing it. Because I do think the Carrick would have learned from it. There are other issues with this United setup. Still, we don't press very effectively. Even West Ham were able to play through us quite a few times, especially in our first half. So there's still a lot to work on for Carrick and his team. But we know that now. You add into that this proper imbalanced squad that I've talked about. You're obviously relying a lot on certain midfielders. You don't have any other options to take them off. Also the fact that you've got attacking players that you're sort of wedging into a certain system a little bit. We really do lack certain winger types. And I mean, a lot of it United, we know we do have a lot of problems. But as I've said, 13 points from 15. We would have snatched your hand off for it, so we can't be too critical right now. There we are, guys. It was just a proper frustrating one. It felt like United had this game sort of there. We could have gone on to win it. And that was the most frustrating thing. Because there was so many subpar performances in that team, and all round it just really wasn't good enough. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. We've still got the fight for Champions League places in our own hands, so I'm not going to be too critical of United and Carrick right now. But let me know what you guys think. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'll catch you in the next one.